Hi everybody, I am Dr. Robin Koslowitz, YouTube's post-traumatic parenting expert. Today we are going to talk about what it's like to be the entangled parent, the daughter of a family of origin where you were expected to carry a lot of the family's burdens and sometimes not even think for it. It was just what was expected of you. But now you're a parent and you're still carrying your family of origin, but you have your own children. And we're going to do that with a very familiar song from the movie Encanto. But first, if you want to talk about this, if this sounds interesting to you, if you are an entangled parent, if you have a difficulty setting boundaries with your family of origin while parenting your current children, if you have other entanglements, maybe a toxic ex-spouse, maybe a boss, maybe a friendship, and those entanglements are stopping you from parenting your own kids in accordance with your values, welcome. We get it. We've been there. We're post-traumatic parents too. So today I want to really unpack a song from Encanto that I actually have heard probably 1,000 times, and I really like the song. And it never occurred to me what's being said in the song, because the depth of the lyrics really describes what it means to be the entangled post-traumatic parent. So let's unpack it. The song I'm thinking of is called Surface Pressure, and it is the character Luisa. Luisa is in the magical family. She is the one who's been endowed with super strength, right? There's a character who's very beautiful. There's a character who's talks to animals, right? They all have these magical powers. The movie really is about that Mirabel, one of the main characters of the movie, doesn't have magical powers. And that's what the movie's really talking about. And yet, I never realized it, but Luisa's song and Luisa's journey is literally the entangled post-traumatic parent. Think about her song, and we're going to keep showing clips from the song as I go through it, right? So first she's talking about pressure, and she's like, it's just pressure. So she starts off the song and she says, I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as tough as the crust of the earth's surface. I move mountains, I move churches, and I glow because I know what my worth is. And here's the thing, this is the devil's bargain of being the entangled parent. It's the devil's bargain of being the strong one in the family. Gives you a lot of self-esteem, it feels good, right? You have a role to play, you're useful, you're important, you're the tough one, you're the strong one, you carry the family. You do this for the family, and you do know what your worth is sometimes. But there's a trade-off, and it's very hard. I don't ask how hard the work is. And I know this was me. I am that indestructible person that just keeps going. And like, it's not about like, oh, this job is too hard. Oh, this is impossible. This is difficult for me. It's just, okay, this is work. I'll just get it done. It will just be harder or it will be easier, but I will get it done, because I really wasn't used to, as that entangled post-traumatic parent, really saying like, but wait a minute, just because I can, should I? Yeah, I'm stronger than you, so I'm capable of doing it, but does that mean I always have to be the one doing it? So, and think about what she says, and I'm skipping some lyrics, right? But under the surface, I feel as berserk as a tightrope walker in a 3-ring circus. Under the surface was Hercules ever like, yo, I don't want to fight Cerberus, right? Just because I can. Does it mean I should? Just because I am the strongest one, does that mean that everything is my job? Everything is my problem? And this happens to a lot of post-traumatic people, not just entangled post-traumatic parents, but this happens to a lot of post-traumatic people where you're so capable. You know that old adage, if you want to get something done, ask a busy person? Okay, so I am the busiest person in the room, so ask me to do more. And on the one hand, it makes a lot of sense, because if I'm an employer and I need a certain task done, and I ask the busiest person, they will get it done, as opposed to the least busy person who may not get it done. So on the one hand, yeah, sure, I'm going to ask the busy person because they'll actually do it. On the other hand, is that fair? The busy person's got a lot on their plate, right? And a lot of times in a family that happens, there's that capable kid, the one who just knows how, the one who can, the one who's capable. Sometimes you see this in an immigrant situation where this kid speaks the best English, so of course they should be the one making the phone call, making the appointment, doing it, and maybe the younger siblings don't have to become as proficient as quickly because my big sister will make that call, right? And that's a pressure. Yes, you get a certain sense of self out of that pressure. I am useful, but on the other hand, I'm Hercules, but I don't always want to be the one who has to fight Cerberus. Can someone else do it for once? And then you keep going, and under the surface, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service. My entire sense of self is bound up in how much of service can I be? And if I'm not being of service right now, am I even worth anything at all? And you have a lot of those busy people, that strong one in the family, who have that persistent sense of worthlessness and laziness that comes from the minute I'm not of service, I feel useless. Like what am I if I'm not helping someone? What am I if I'm not doing things for people? Right? And it's that trade-off. I feel confident because I do get these things done, but under the surface, I feel as berserk, right? Like I feel like a tightrope worker. And then a flaw or a crack, the straw in the stack that breaks the camel's back. What breaks the camel's back? It's pressure like a drip, drip, drip that will never stop. And of course, it's great with the music, but think about what she's singing underneath those catchy lyrics. Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Give it to your sister. Your sister's stronger. See if she can hang on just a little longer. Think about that when you're the sister who's stronger and you've got to hang on just a little longer because you're being given this responsibility because you are strong. And every single time after the words pressure, you hear pressure like a drip, 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 right? Pressure doesn't lose its grip, that kind of thing. And then you have a line like this. Give it to your sister's older, give her all the things that you can't shoulder. Now, not always is that strong one in the family the oldest, but sometimes, right, that happens. Under the surface, I hide my nerves. Does this sound like you as a post-traumatic parent? A child coping with the trauma of being that strong one? Such a traumatic burden to put on someone, to tell them to be strong. In therapy, I sometimes say to patients when I say like, are you sure you want to be so strong? Are you sure you want to be the strong one? And they say, well, what's the alternative, being weak? The opposite of strong is not weak. The opposite of strong is authentic. Think about that, right? Because it's not about strong versus weak. We already know you're strong. You've lived through what you've lived through. You've dealt with your PTSD. You're coping with it and living with it every day. I always say post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic living, that's really challenging, right? That's the hard part. You are strong every single day, but do you always have to be the strong one? But not being the strong one doesn't mean being the weak one. It means being the authentic one. So then we keep going and we say, under the surface, I think about my purpose. Can I somehow preserve this? And then, of course, she has this, and then the sense of dominoes that, a light wind blows and they all go tumbling down, because that's what it feels like to be under this kind of pressure all the time. But wait, if I could stop, and this is where you become a parent, but wait, if I could stop the crushing weight of expectations, would that free up some room for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure? Instead, we just measure the growing pressure. Keep growing, keep going, right? The pressure just keeps on going, it never ends. And then we keep going, the pressure like a drip, drip, drip that will never stop. And then we have another great line, give it to your sister, it doesn't hurt her, and see if she can handle every family burden. Watch as she buckles and bends but never breaks. And this is again that terrible conundrum, because it would be such a relief to break, but you can't break because you're the strong one. So you just keep going and going and going, but under the surface, that pressure. I kind of felt like, who wrote this song? Like, have they met me? Have they met other post-traumatic parents? Do they have a PhD in clinical psychology? Like, have they studied this extensively? Because this song so encapsulates the lives of every single entangled parent I have ever spoken to, that it's like, I can't believe I never paid attention to the lyrics of this song until I was watching it and the lyrics were scrolling on the screen, and I said, oh my goodness, what is in this song? It even gets more. Just pressure like a grip, grip, grip. Again, pressure like a brick. Give it to your sister and never wonder if the same pressure would have pulled you under, right? Because it's very easy to cop out and say, oh, well, she's strong. She can handle it. She can cope with it. She's fine, right? That's a very easy cop out to say. Do you ever perhaps wonder if the same pressure would have pulled you under? should you perhaps wonder? And I think sometimes what happens with that entangled post-traumatic parent who's just trying to cope with this crushing weight of expectations. You're the strong one, so do it. You're the capable one, you're the competent one, so do it. Sometimes what ends up happening with that is they then get called to task for any time they're not perfect, any time they don't do things, and any time perhaps they do something but they do it in an upset mood, or they express their resentment, and then it's like, whoa, okay, I understand that I asked you last minute, but did you have to make such a big deal? Because the family members are so used to relying on this person that it almost becomes like, you almost become, instead of a human, you sort of become an object. Right? And just like nobody asks an object for consent, right? Like I don't ask my phone, like here's my phone. I don't ask my phone like, do you mind that I keep tapping at you all day and poking you and prodding you? Perhaps you're not okay with that. Perhaps I shouldn't. It's a phone. It's an object. It doesn't get a say. It cannot give me consent. It was manufactured for one purpose. Its purpose is to be poked and prodded and, occasionally tossed face down on the seat of my car, right? That's its job in life. When you have a family that relies on one child because she's the strong one, and I'm saying she, but of course it could be he, this is not gendered, then what happens is that person's the strong one, and like that's their function in life. They're an object. You don't think of them as like, maybe they're a human who exists in an independent reality outside of my own, and maybe that human doesn't want to. Maybe that human can fight Cerberus, but like Hercules is maybe saying, right now I don't want to. And maybe they have that right. Just because they always did doesn't mean they always have to. Yeah, that might mean that other members of the family are going to have to learn some coping skills, right? If you have like a shy sibling who like doesn't want to make phone calls, and now the strong one is like, listen, I'm not making your phone calls for you anymore. I'm just not comfortable doing that anymore. I'm not doing it. Yeah, for a little while you're going to feel uncomfortable as you learn to make your own phone calls. And maybe it even feels like she's being mean, but she's not an object. Her goal in life, her purpose and function in life is not to be of service to you. It is one facet of us that, of course, humans are interdependent. I am a member of a family. The family is a part of me. I want to be of service and I want to be kind to my family. I want to help my family. But there's also a boundary, right? The boundary is where you end and where I begin. And right? You want me to make this phone call for you. However, I have plans right now, so I'm not going to be able to make this phone call. But the phone call needs to be made right now. Okay, I understand. You need this phone call made. I have plans right now, so you're going to have to come up with an alternative plan to get this phone call made. What's your plan? I'd be glad to hear you, and I'd be glad to cheer you on afterwards, but the plan cannot involve me. So that is that first beginning of setting boundaries as the entangled post-traumatic parent. Because here's what happens. We grow up, we have kids. And our kids are actually supposed to, especially at the beginning, treat us as an object, right? When you have a newborn baby, especially with moms, mom is the milk giver, mom is the diaper changer, mom is the holding me and singing to me and soothing me when I'm in pain person. Mom is an object. Right? And that's why the branch of psychology that studies attachment is called object relations. Mom is the object. And I don't see mom necessarily as a human in an independent reality outside of her own. I don't say, oh, it's 2 a.m., I'm hungry, but my mom really needs her sleep, so I'm going to not cry right now. Right? Babies don't do that. They're not built to do that. You're meant to be an object to your baby. You're not meant to be an object to your family of origin. You're not meant to be an object to your boss. You're not meant to be an object to your friend or your ex-spouse. You are meant to be a human to those people, and that's what boundaries means. I get that my boss wants this done, but I work till 5. It is now 5:30, so I understand that you really wanted it done, but I have to leave at 5. So, and the boss is like, but I need it today. All right, if you're gonna pay me overtime, or you're gonna pay time and a half for me staying late, or you're gonna pay me to work on the weekend, I'll get it done. But boundaries, right? Boundaries. I am a human. I work from 9 to 5. It is now 5:30, so I'm going to be going home now, right? Because I'm not an object. I'm not the printer that's going to print these papers. I am the human who's writing this document for you. Same thing with like an ex-spouse. He's in the mood of getting into a fight right now. That doesn't mean you have to be his toy and pick up the phone and like allow that. He can leave a voicemail, right? Same with, he wants to say passive-aggressive things on social media and know that he means you, but he's just sort of saying it. Yeah, I don't have to read those things. I don't have to be that audience. I'm not an audience, I'm a human, right? Same thing with a friend. My friend really wants to vent. It's really not a good time for me right now. So I can give her a different time that I'm going to be available. Maybe if it's all my friend venting and me not ever getting anything out of the relationship, maybe that's not a friendship, right? That's a boundary, because that's objectification. I'm not an object, except to my kids at the very beginning of life. And then as children grow up, they transition into a parent as a human, not a parent as an object. So a teenager, we're allowed to kind of say to them, yeah, I get that you want to play your music as loud as you possibly can. I also get that it's 2 a.m. and the rest of the family deserves to sleep. So you're going to have to like use earphones or do it tomorrow in the morning time, right? Those are your options right now, because I'm not an object. I'm a human, and I exist in an independent reality outside of everyone, which is that daybreak comes and then I have to like get to work. So I cannot be up at 2 a.m. listening to what you decided is good music at 2 a.m. So I'm not going to do that, because I'm not your object. When you were 2 months old, yeah, sure. Then you wanted to make noise at 2 in the morning, I was there. When you're 22 years old, not so much, right? Even when you're 12 years old, not so much. If you're 12 and you're throwing up in the middle of the night, yeah, you need your parent. And I'm the object in that moment, because you need someone to be the caregiver in that moment. When you're 12 and you're bored because you woke up in the middle of the night and you just want to chat, yeah, no, I'm not an object. I'm sorry, I know you want to chat. 2 a.m. is not a great time for that. Can we put a pin in this conversation until tomorrow? Right? And we slowly transition from being an object to being a human to our kids. Luisa is an object. She's being related to as an object by everybody, instead of being related to as a human. And this song just perfectly encapsulates what it's like to be the entangled post-traumatic parent. If you like this video, if you can relate, if you're looking at this song and being like, whoa, I never realized those lyrics were in there, welcome. Please click subscribe below so you never miss another episode. And please check out all the other videos on the Post-Traumatic Parenting channel. You can also pre-order the book. It's available now. Yep, I wrote a book. It's all about post-traumatic parenting. Entangled is one of our 5 post-traumatic parenting prototypes that you can read about and learn how to handle within the chapters of the book. Please pre-order it. Every single pre-order is so meaningful to me, because it helps our post-traumatic parenting community grow and gets this message into the hands of people who need it. And please check out the Post-Traumatic Parenting podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can hang out with the other post-traumatic parenting community members over on Instagram at Dr. Koslowitz Psychology. I do respond to DMs and I do respond to comments. And please comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have any other Disney characters that you want me to sort of unpack in terms of trauma, I would be happy to do that. And if you have any other topics you want me to talk about, comment below. Remember to like, save, subscribe, and share so that nobody misses out on the post-traumatic parenting message. Till next time.